SpaceX embarrassed NASA with their high-tech space suit. When it comes to technology, SpaceX is never late. So it is at this point that SpaceX has opted to develop a high-tech spacesuit. These astronaut spacesuits have gotten a lot of attention, and some even claim that they are better than what NASA uses. So how do they differ from previous astronaut outfits? Watch this video to find out. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. A new kind of spaceship definitely needs a new kind of spacesuit. In May, American astronauts flew into space on the SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft for the first time since the Space Shuttle era a decade ago. This was the first commercial crew flight for NASA and the first time astronauts launched from the American soil in almost a decade. Those who have been following the space program for a significant amount of time will notice one significant difference between the orange pumpkin flight suits that astronauts used to wear during the launch phase of shuttle flights managed by NASA and the sleek spacesuits that Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley will don during the mission known as Crew 1. The spacesuits that are used by SpaceX have a sleeker design than the massive Space Shuttle launch suits, which were also referred to as the Advanced Crew Escape Suit, or ACES. The SpaceX spacesuits have a stylish one-piece white design. Because of how minimal the new SpaceX spacesuit design was, the company's founder, Elon Musk, had to post a reassuring message on his Instagram account when it was revealed in 2018. It is undeniably effective. You can simply enter a vacuum chamber while carrying it and everything will be okay. In addition, the astronauts who participated in the first crew test flight of SpaceX's Crew Dragon did provide feedback regarding the differences between the SpaceX suit and other spacesuits that astronauts have worn at various times throughout history. Hurley, a veteran of Space Shuttle flights STS-129 and STS-135, stated on May 1st during a pre-flight press conference that this SpaceX outfit is significantly different than the suit they wore on the shuttle. However, Hurley did not go into much detail about the differences between the two suits. He mentioned that there were some differences between the Sokol spacesuit that the Russians use and his own, but he added that he never actually went through the entire suit-up process because the Sokol was only used as a backup in case something went wrong during his short mission to the International Space Station, or ISS. However, despite the fact that the SpaceX suit is more recent, it will still be subjected to identical pre-flight inspections as the Pumpkin suit and the Sokol suit. Hurley explained it's pretty much the same thing in that they check the suits for leaks, they check the comm system, and they basically want to make sure that everything is in working order before you travel out to the pad. After that, two of these SpaceX spacesuits were put through their paces in space to demonstrate their value before being worn by humans. One of them was used on the Tesla driving dummy that sailed on a Falcon Heavy rocket in 2018, while the other one was used on the dummy Ripley that went aboard the uncrewed SpaceX Crew Dragon Demo 1 test flight to the International Space Station in 2019. If the spacesuit appears to have been constructed for a movie set, this may be due to the fact that legendary Hollywood costume designer Jose Fernandez was responsible for designing it. Jose Fernandez is known for designing costumes for popular films such as Wonder Woman, Wolverine, Batman vs. Superman, and Captain America: Civil War. Behnken said, "What they are doing on the SpaceX side is to kind of reach back and kind of pull forward, maybe a retro style, or a different way of making their own unique kind of mission symbol or symbiology instead of trying to copy what was done on the Space Shuttle side." Behnken went on to say that the pumpkin suit became an instantly recognizable component of Space Shuttle flights, and he believes that the same thing will happen with the SpaceX spacesuit in the near future. He believed that both of the outfits have succeeded in terms of being iconic, in terms of symbolizing the mission that lies ahead of them, as well as the enthusiasm that is linked with what they are going to accomplish. Behnken stated in a separate pre-flight video interview on May 2nd that the SpaceX spacesuit has at least one significant benefit when it comes to training: a high enough fidelity, from a training perspective, that both Doug and Behnken can sit in a capsule, and they can put on suits, and they can go through a situation or a scenario where the suits are going to inflate. According to Behnken, it is essential for astronauts to be exposed to that kind of experience during their training in order to adequately prepare them for the rigors of spaceflight. From the point of view of an operator, it is of the utmost importance to acquire the level of fidelity in the training gear as opposed to relying on PowerPoints and virtual presentations of the suit. So that's a very big victory there, and they're quite grateful that the SpaceX crew came through for us in this regard. Some of the design details of SpaceX's spacesuits have been kept secret, but the company has made it clear that the suits are intended to work in tandem with the big computer panels that astronauts would use to monitor Dragon systems and navigate to the International Space Station. According to NASA, each spacesuit is tailor-made just for the astronaut who will wear it. According to NASA, the spacesuit that SpaceX has developed is meant to be practical, lightweight, and to give protection from potential depressurization. The protection against depressurization would be comparable to that of the ASA suit, which had a backup breathing system and the capability to fully pressurize in the event that the cabin unexpectedly lost oxygen. According to the agency, there is only one connection point on the thigh of the suit that is used to link life support devices, including air and power connections. The helmet is specially produced using 3D printing technology, and it features integrated valves, mechanisms for visor retraction and locking, and microphones built into the construction of the helmet itself. However, we shouldn't count on SpaceX's spacesuit to get us through spacewalks. It's important to note that these are not a replacement for the well-known EVA suits that have been used for decades, even if those are currently undergoing also an internal redesign process. The purpose of these outfits, which are customized to the wearer's specific measurements, is to give protection against the risks of launch, which may include exposure to intense heat or brief periods of vacuum, but not space itself. The SpaceX suits include built-in communications and climate control, as well as protection from heat and flame, and they can withstand impacts. The oxygen and electricity go through a single umbilical cord that connects to the wearer's seat in the spacecraft. The helmet, of course, has the radio and the microphones. Extravehicular mobility units, or EMUs, from the space shuttle era will continue to be used by astronauts for the foreseeable future. These EMUs are designed to function for approximately 8 to 10 hours or so for microgravity activities in a full vacuum, while also offering protection against radiation. For the next Artemis mission, which intends to put men on the moon by the year 2024, NASA is working on more advanced spacesuits that are designed for the lunar surface. These spacesuits are being developed in preparation for the program. NASA intends to put the moon spacesuits through their paces on the International Space Station in 2023 if everything goes according to plan. The suits that the astronauts will use for SpaceX are also different from those that will be used for the other commercial crew vehicle, which is Boeing's Starliner. Tests are currently being conducted to get that vehicle ready for astronaut flights. The astronauts who will be flying in that spacecraft will wear a blue spacesuit that has features like touchscreen sensitive gloves and more modern materials. Since the late cosmonaut Alexei Leonov took the first spacewalk in March 1965, spacesuits have changed a lot, and these SpaceX suits are an example of the total evolution of spacesuits. Do you think SpaceX will be able to develop better spacesuits for spacewalks in the near future? Well, drop us a yes or no in the comment section below. Hey, we sincerely appreciate you for spending time with us in today's video. And if you want to keep updated on all the latest news, don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on. Click the video on the screen now to watch another fascinating video.